Doctors are being warned to look out for a dangerous workout trend called dry scooping that some gym goers are doing. It involves eating protein-rich powder supplements neat rather than diluting them in water as recommended by manufacturers. Researchers who are giving a talk at a US medical conference are worried that teenagers, others may try it, spurred on by a flurry of internet videos of the fad. Let's talk now to nutrition scientist Bridget Benelum, who is from the British Nutrition Foundation. What's the problem with this?
So the main active ingredient of these powders is caffeine, and they vary in terms of their level of their caffeine content from anything to about equivalent to 1 cup of filter coffee to up to 3 or even more cups of filter coffee. So that's potentially a lot of caffeine in one dose. And now if you're preparing these made up to manufacturer's instructions, that's one thing. But if you're just eating the dry powder, then you may be getting that dose much more quickly, and you may also be having more than the manufacturer recommends. So I think the key issue here is the potential for having much too much caffeine at once. And what we don't know is how this impacts on general population. Now, we have research around caffeine and performance in athletes, but of course, when you're looking at an athlete, that person is usually has a team around them, looking after them, checking their medical health. They'll be aware of the medical records. But of course, in the wider population, there can be a lot of variability in terms of how sensitive people are to caffeine. And we probably all know that there are some people who say can't have coffee in the evening or they can't sleep. So, for example, if you're getting a lot of caffeine at one go, there is the potential for unpleasant side effects. Now, they are not necessarily serious. It could just be feeling a bit jittery, as perhaps we all have when we've had too much coffee. But if you're sensitive to caffeine, or if you have an underlying medical condition that you may not be aware of, then there is a potential risk there of just having much too much caffeine at once.
OK. And do you believe that is dangerous if you have too much caffeine at once?
Well, there is certainly the potential for negative effects on your health. And I think the difficulty is we just don't know. We don't have the research on these powders. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know how people are taking them, but clearly they are taking them according to these videos in a way that isn't made up according to the manufacturer's instructions, which is usually a scoop of powder and then made up to be a drink, where you would be getting probably the caffeine more slowly, you would be getting water at the same time. So I think, there's really no need to take supplements before you go to the gym or before you train. But if you are going to take them, then it's really important then you follow the manufacturer's instructions and that you don't take more, because these ingredients that are powerful and potentially can affect your health.
It's interesting that you say you don't need supplements at all, or all these kind of so-called nutritional drinks at all before you do some exercise or go to the gym. Why do you say that?
So we know from research in athletes that some of these ingredients have the potential to benefit performance, but that really is at that very elite level where people are doing very high level training and the margins. But, if you're just going to the gym to keep generally fit, you want to build muscle, you want to build your endurance, you really don't need anything extra. Your body's very capable of adapting to exercise and benefiting from it, and you don't need extra supplements in order to support your body to do that.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you, Bridget Benelum from the British Nutrition Foundation.